Spirit is willing, but body is bruised and spongy. After all those monsters in the monster manual, we needed a week off, so sessions was canceled. Welcome to another fine, fantabulous anniversary episode of the Marvelous Misadventures of Matt.
Matt, you can't just stick the word anniversary on things.
Yes.
And he will.
It's every time. I'm going to do it every time.
I hate you so much.
I am he who is marvelously misadventuring, Matt. I am joined with the boys, Josh and Isaiah. So,
I'm in so much fucking pain right now. Genuinely indescribable.
To describe Isaiah's pain, since he is incapable of describing it, we may or may not have just recorded for 25 minutes and then realized that audio is not being picked up. So here we are, round 2. How y'all doing? It's not going to matter on your end, but hey.
Yeah, we're it's not gonna matter for you, but we're all suffering, and that's
for
really
us
what
it
matters.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know what would make me feel better? If you hit the follow or subscribe button on whatever platform you're currently listening on. That would make me feel a lot better. Might not make Isaiah feel better, but it'd make me feel.
Don't forget to follow us on Twitter X or whatever it's called now.
No, Matt, god damn it.
I want to keep the bit in.
Matt, better. One thing. Never mind. I'll explain this later. What are you saying, Isaiah?
You know what would make me feel better? Chanting the Psalms of the motive force in binaric. That'd make me feel better.
God damn it.
Go ahead, Isaiah. You know how to do that? Go ahead. Show us.
Really? Is that?
I'll have to take his word for it. I cannot say one way or the other.
There's an actual play I watched a while back where a character he's like really going hard in the whole tech priest thing. And he was just like, I shall now chant the Psalms of the motive force. Okay. Oh no, wait, no. It was he rolled a natural one, or he rolled a Perils of the Warp or something. I don't remember what it was. And the guy running the game was like, you complete your task, but you can only communicate in dubstep.
Oh my god.
So he was just like, for like 20 minutes. And you
it's like Psycho, you sense anything.
And you would think that the joke would stop being funny, but no, it never stops being funny.
That sounds fucking great.
Oh god. Anyway, you should go watch Daredevil Declarations Warhams. It's pretty good.
I'll get back on Dark Tide at some point too.
Yeah.
Too many games.
Yeah, we gotta get back down Dark Tide now that Gundam Evolution has failed us. My pain is immeasurable. My sadness also immeasurable. My will is gone.
Cool skins though?
Doesn't fucking matter now.
Not anymore, but
no, they put everything out on the fucking like grindable income, and I really wanted the White Dingo Squad thing for my Sniper 2 that I was just starting to use, and now I can't use it anymore because the game's going up in smoke in November. I'm dead. That's
like
it.
The servers are like cut. Like they're
like the whole ass game is getting shut down. The entire game, everything's gone.
Yep. Goddamn.
I wish for the heat death of the universe actively rather than typically passively.
Yep. But I guess to recap the recap once again.
Yep, go for it, Matt.
Yep.
Me and Isaiah are just gonna sit here in painful silence.
Just mauled.
Yeah,
mauled.
Just mauled quietly.
Players went to Dragon City. They dealt with a bunch of devils. Did not deal with the Rakshasa very well. Went after a bunch of dragon cultists. Fought a Dracolich and a Death Knight. Won. Got the MacGuffin. And now are heading over and are in Elf City to try and figure out how to build the not Dragonlance. But they don't know there's a Dragonlance yet.
You describe again, as we did before, what the Elf City's like.
Yeah. Or do you want to add your favorite part, Josh?
Favorite part?
Yeah. Rakshas's phylactery.
Oh, I mean, no. The moment's passed. It's over. The Rakshasa has a religious phylactery on his mantle. I don't have the energy anymore. What is life?
Damn. Okay.
What do you want me to do?
This is the fucking Game Grumps, Aaron Hansen, where he's like, hours. Literally hours wasted.
Not hours, but enough to be annoying, yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, I don't even know what I'd do for like an hour in. It's like, yep, Not recording.
Oh
Well,
my
Oh,
god!
I would
Like,
actually just call it an L for the night.
yeah,
I
that
just
one
go to
I
bed.
would
I just go
call
to
it. See you
bed. I'm
guys
done.
next time.
Like, you couldn't pay me to be like, hey, you wanna, like, no. Absolutely not. I refuse.
Absolutely not.
But yeah. Speaking with the
Podcast is
dragon,
actually canceled.
Dragon City leader, the players were told that he wants whoever was responsible for setting up this whole like the Elf City versus the Dragon City. He wants them captured. He wants them brought to him for justice. Meanwhile, the one player, the gunsmith elf who was in the party, is related to the leader of the Elf City, as well as was part of an assassination hit squad on the dragon leader, but failed and accidentally killed his son. So like, some fun political nonsense going on. And yeah, basically built like, because I wanted to when I make cities, and I don't know if you guys do the same thing, or like I first kind of think about like what the populace is. So like this place, I wanted to be like, oh, it's elves, wood elves, high elves, furbolgs, forest gnomes, like a lot of like nature. So I built like, I found like pictures and art of like cities literally where like the trees are the size of skyscrapers and their roads are made by connecting branches that connect all these different trees and shit. I took the thing from Eberron where like, because in their main city of Sharn, yeah. If someone falls off one of these like skyscrapers, there's like all these lanterns that have like a feather fall, like rune or whatever. So no one can fall to their death in Sharn.
Okay, wait.
So I basically did the same thing because these fucking trees were massive, and I'm like, yeah.
Wait, was that?
Yeah.
You think that system was set up proactively or retroactively?
I would say retroactively.
I really hope it's retroactively.
I cannot see a situation where someone actually thought of that problem ahead of time, to be honest. Or they did think of that problem ahead of time, but nobody wanted to pay for it to set up all the lanterns, so they just said, fuck it, we'll deal with it later.
Right. Okay, the question is how retroactively we talking?
Oh, like how many people fell to their death first?
yeah. How many people got moidled before they were like,
I think it's actually in the book. I'll look it up
Okay,
later.
fine.
I mean,
Okay, fine.
probably a good chunk before the politicians started to care, I would imagine.
Sharn's fucking huge.
Just
Crazy
like
big.
my cock.
Got him. But players
No,
got to
I
the
don't
Elf
have any
City.
today.
Turns out that the gunsmith, not only did he work for the Elf City, he was also his grandmother was the queen of the city, the ruler faction person of the city. Yeah.
Did Grandmama also use guns?
No. This was the gunsmith was like, all
Fuck
elves
you, Mom,
need to
it's not a
modernize and
phase.
get in the guns. Yeah. He's like, bows are cool, but look at this cannon I have. He just pulls out the sniper rifle.
Look at this object I have that throws rocks really fast, really far.
Exactly. He's like, bows are inferior. He's like, this is the way of the future. And then everybody else in the Elf City's like, nah, incorrect. It's all about the bows. And he's just like, fools. You'll see.
Fools! You foolish fools! Also, I like how they're like, it's about the bows and ignoring that crossbows are also a thing.
Yeah, we don't do that here.
Crossbows are for dorks. Crossbows are for weak and mamby-pambies with no lats.
That's right.
Pussies. Do you even bow, bro?
Wow, I really misheard Josh on that last exclamation. And
What did you hear, sir?
what we were talking about considering the angel devil yesterday.
Got it.
Fuck.
He's like, therefore, I can smash that angel pussy for about a good 18
Stop.
seconds. 18
Yeah,
minutes.
the words
Or
that I
16
didn't
minutes
wanna
more
state.
than I need. Because I won't last that. I love that meme so
I
much.
hate you so much. God, somebody killed me.
My
Go
pain
watch
is
Chainsaw
immeasurable.
Man.
Jesus Christ. Matt, you're fired.
Fuck. Anyways, speaking with the NPC, speaking with the queen, they're like, all right, we have all 5 Dragon Balls. Fucking tell us how to make the dragon
Balls?
killing
When
items.
did they become
Yeah.
Dragon Balls?
Yeah, the weapons. The weapons are the Dragon Balls, the MacGuffins. This is important items. It's fine.
You know that's not technically... The Dragon Balls actually aren't a MacGuffin.
It's
Because
close enough.
the Dragon Balls actually do something.
Yeah, they're a plot device.
Yeah, they're a plot device, but they're not a MacGuffin because a MacGuffin doesn't do anything.
Oh, whatever.
That's
All
part
right.
of what makes it a MacGuffin.
So I'll say my plot device then
Plot coupons.
from now on. They're like, all right, we have all the plot devices. We have all 5 of them put together. How do we make the dragon weapon?
No, Matt, they're coupons, because when the players collect them, then they hand you the GM as the coupons to make the end of game purchase.
True.
Well, they're plot coupons.
To which the queen told him, was like, oh no, it's like the forge in order to make the weapon is off in the Feywild. So we're going to have a guide help you get there, but you have to cross over and plane shift. And the players are like, the fuck?
Players said casual racism.
Yeah, they're like, why the fuck do we have to go in the Feywild? That place is weird. Everyone over there is weird. And none of them disputed. None of the other players, they all were like, yeah, fucking weird.
I forget what happened next. Even though you just told me 20 minutes ago.
I just thought, no, it's all good. The queen basically said, well, we have an archgate ready for you.
Oh, right.
We have to set it up for tomorrow. But on the other side, in the Feywild, waiting for you is going to be this tree person they call the Woad. They're like a monster from Volo's guy. They're like a little tree paladin guy.
It's called a Woad.
Is it? I thought it was a Woad.
The Woad.
Oh. What? Fucking...
It is kind of a pseudo-Wudo.
Yeah.
Woad. I think Woad means...
Oh, it is Woad. Why do I have it backwards in my notes?
For something. Oh no, it's just a plant.
Yeah,
they're just called a yellow flowered European plant of the cabbage family is a woad.
Yeah, but like the art for them is like, it's a little tree guy with a little shield and club, and he's all happy doing his job.
He definitely looks like he's about to look at you and go, "Wootigi!"
Smash.
He's got big smash, big smash you with brick Jawa energy.
And the players are like, we don't know what that is, but okay, we'll go. And so they get a day to kind of rest, recuperate. And this is also, again, I was getting burnt the fuck out in the campaign. I was like, all right, let's just, we're getting there. We'll just push through. Instead of they're like, oh, can we have like a couple days in the city, Matt? Like a week? Or I'm like, well, you guys get a day.
You get one. Listen, bitches, I'm tired. You get one. Tell your friends. Everybody gets one.
But that night, they're like, okay, we got to explore the city, meet some NPCs, try to, what did they do? They had dead dinner at the gunsmith's fucking house. And then that night, because just because I thought it'd be fun, and they fucked with the Rakshasa, I was like, oh, let me send some more, like, devil assassins after them. And this is also kind of when the 3 of us and Sam, when we were all playing Descend to Avernus. So I had some, like, new devil inspiration shit. And I'm like, oh, let me throw some stuff out there. That'll be fun. And also, because I thought it'd be funny, I brought back, I told you guys a while ago, I brought in from Curse of Strahd the NPC Rahadin. Who became kind of like a nemesis for the Shadow Monk character. And, players killed him. He'd come back. They'd kill his, like, undead corpse because he became like a revenant like 3 or 4 times. And then finally, with the Rakshasa saw the soul and was like, hey, man, I know you've been trying to kill these guys. I fucking want them dead as well. I'm going to give you some devil power and some devil magic. Do the job. If not, you're going to become a Lemure, and I'm going to fucking torture you for the rest of eternity.
Jesus.
You said that to Rahadin?
No, well, basically. I mean, the players never saw this. This was like my headcanon of what happened. But that's what happens. Yeah, that's what happens when devils fail a mission or contract. They basically get punished and they get demoted.
So wait.
Rahadin, because he was like... He basically was a walking corpse at this point. So he didn't have like, he wasn't high-ranking devil. So the Rakshasa was like, listen, if you fail me, you are going to start at ground zero and you are going to be tortured as a Lemure.
The combination of Rakshasa and Rahadin is not helping this scenario.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
But yes,
they didn't fix it in Descent to Avernus because the Rakshasa is Mahadi, not Rahadin.
That's true. That's true.
That makes it worse.
That did make it worse, actually. Yes. God damn it.
But yeah, so that night, while the players were sleeping, I did the thing where did a bunch of people, like, I had the players make perception checks. A bunch of the devil assassins attacked them, and this is where the now devil infused power undead Rahadin went after the Shadow Monk, and I might have buffed him up a little too much. And because he was doing a lot of, even for like my player's level 17 at this point, he did way too much damage. And he was kind of almost like gonna kill the Shadow Monk.
Wait, Rahadin
Which-
was?
Yeah. Yeah, because I buffed his stats up a little bit.
Should it?
Well, I was trying. Well, not trying, but like the bad guy.
No, you
was
heard it
trying
here,
to.
folks. He was trying to kill you.
You were trying. It's okay.
Well, but this is when, as he's mid-fight, trying to survive, this is when Shadow Monk pulled out his signature move, or his secret move that he and I had a backdoor deal.
Don't say backdoor.
Years ago.
Don't say backdoor deal, Matt. Don't.
Yes.
No.
Say backdoor
not-
deal, Matt. Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
It fits so perfectly
Fucking
with
do
this,
it to
because
him.
years ago, when Shadow Monk joined my campaign,
I hate it.
he sent me this webcomic by this eldercactus.com. Funny fucking thing. And it's assassin.
Eldercactus?
It's this guy who's just standing on the middle of the street screaming, "Oh God, my butthole. My butthole's in so much pain. Please, someone help me. Oh no, my butthole." A random guy walks over to him and is like, "Oh, good, sir. Are you okay? Can I help you?" The dude who's screaming out my butthole pulls out a pistol and just fucking caps this guy right in the face. Turns out the guy who's screaming out my butthole is this like amazing assassin who pulls all of his hits like this. And this is how he does his assassinations. He just screams out my butthole in the confusion, kills the guy, kills his target. So Chris sent that to me and I joked that I'm like, you know what? This is too funny. I was dying. And I'm like, I will let this auto success once. And so he saved it for like this entire campaign, was saving to use it at one point. And so back into a corner, fighting this undead devil guy who just won't fucking die. He's like, you know, the villain mid monologue, like, you've killed me so many times, but now finally my revenge. Mid monologue. Oh God, my butthole. Oh jeez. Oh, I'm in so much pain. And so Rahadin's like he does this like stop, like what?
Huh? What?
What did you just say? And the Shadow Monk, one of the things he liked doing, like he liked to from Hunter x Hunter, he did the coin flick and like would shoot people for some reason because he thought it was really cool.
Super cool.
So he did that right in the Rahadin's forehead and just basically just blasted his brains out. Auto kill, assassination hit, done.
Wait, the Shadow Monk character was the one with the gun?
No, he had a coin. So he did you ever watch Hunter x Hunter? I don't remember what the character was, but there's a character who...
The fucking doofus with the glasses that shot coins at people like bullets.
Yeah, he shot coins at people like
flicked
shotgun.
a coin?
Yeah, he would flick the coins at people. And so he and I homebrewed that basically we treated like a dart.
Maneuver was the coin?
Yeah.
I see. So he didn't just shoot the man, he killed him with coin.
He killed him by flicking a coin so hard it basically might as well have
brain
been a gun.
deaded his ass.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
So saved it. He's like, all right, cool. I did it. Assassination done. Rest of the players dealt with the other devils. They turn, they see the rotting, like burning corpse of Rodney. And they're like, what happened here? Shadow Monk. I don't know who this is. Fuck this guy. Fucking kick the corpse spots down. This
Kicks
is
him
weird.
down the garbage chute.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. But and they went, and the next day they went to the Feywild, which I ended up pulling a lot of inspiration from the fourth 4E book, which I think was the one of, if not the last 4th edition books they printed out.
I don't know.
And, I don't know. It was like all about the Feywild and setting adventures and campaigns in there, and I used a lot of references from that. But I also mixed it with a lot of the lore from the Stronghold and Followers MCDM book, because they had a lot of cool Feywild lore and shit.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I want to use these. I'll use these other tools for my box. So the players
I don't like the way you said that.
Why, for my box?
I'm going to use these other tools for my box.
Yeah, for my toolbox.
Yeah, I know, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't like the way you said that.
Anyways, Queen wishes them good luck. Players are like, all right, fucking did not get any sleep because of the devil assassination attempt. They're like, all right, let's just get this shit over with. Get into the Feywild. No one there. They're like, there's no tree guy here. There's what do now? And so the players, as the obvious good move, they're like, let's just explore the forest. What could possibly go wrong?
Just gonna wander around. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. They got lost a little bit. They were like kind of traversing the Feywild, and they're like, it's just more trees, just more fucking weird rainbow trees and mushrooms and shit, and the fucking grass talks. I don't understand.
This sounds like a good time.
Yeah. But eventually the players ended up...
I don't understand. I don't want to understand.
The players ended up running into a large group of Summer Eladrin and, holding them all at gunpoint, but at bow point, I should say. And basically the players
I like the idea that the Eladrin all have Tommy guns.
Yeah.
Just stick them up. What?
The players are like, listen, we just got here. We're just travelers. We don't want to make any troubles. And then they point at the barbarian. They're like, him. He's broken all the crimes in the Feywild. He must be punished. And the player's like, what the fuck? And they turn to the barbarian, who I don't remember actually if I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this in an earlier podcast, but not in the last recap. But during in the Dragon City, when I did that festival for the players, this is when Tasha's had come out. And so one of the things in there that I thought was cool is these magic mushrooms that you buy, that the players can find or buy, and they have different effects. But if you have eat two of them, something bad happens. You're like, oh shit, okay. And so obviously, because of course, the barbarian's like, I bet I can eat two of these mushrooms that you're not supposed to eat two of. And so the player's like, I don't think that's a good idea, man. And he ate it. And then he just warps out of existence. And the player's like, oh.
Okay.
Where'd he go? Comes back six seconds later, covered and caked in mud and grass and dirt and shit. And so I looked up a bunch of funny things that could happen. He got transported into the Feywild. And because the Feywild time dilation is so different over there, he was in there for 6 months. And so during the 6 months, he just attacked everything, chopped down important trees, killed many innocent Fey folk just because that's what he said his character would do. He's like, I'm gonna conquer this new land. He's like, I have no idea what the fuck happened.
I like that your players are like almost genetically predisposed to acts of fucking terrorists.
Yeah, what the fuck?
They can't not act like fucking terrorists anywhere they go.
Holy shit! Why?
I'm calling you guys out. Why are you like this?
Why are you like this? Who raised you?
Because in his mind, he's like, well, listen, I'm a pirate, so pirates like pillage and plunder and shit. So I'm just gonna pillage and plunder this fucking forest land until
That's his excuse. That's all he can come up with. Jesus Christ, dude.
He was a barbarian. He dumped his intelligence. It's fine.
I can't believe that you just Hassan Pikered the shit out of us. He's not a terrorist. He's a pirate.
Yeah. Big difference.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so he was trapped in there for 6 months, and he's like, all right, I'm going to conquer the Feywild. He pissed off a lot of people, including the queen of the Sealy court.
Is this all just shit you just like decided?
Should I looked up from the fourth edition book? It was pretty like random spur in a moment, like fun stuff.
Oh my god. Okay.
And so after 6 months of just torturing and like the whole Feywild and wrecking havoc, he teleported back into the material plane. Only 6 seconds. Only 6 seconds difference from when the player saw him disappear to him returning. So he's just been like, oh shit, I'm having another fever dream. I see my friends. He's like, this isn't real. And they're like, dude, what?
This isn't real.
He's like, they're like, dude, did you fall into a mud pit? What happened to you? He's like, so much.
Bro, basically what happened was he had a DMT trip. That's pretty much
The Feywild said, you ever done DMT?
And basically the players went on being like, well, this was weird, and then just continued on.
And then just ignored it?
Yeah, and meanwhile, the barbarian's just like, he's like touching random like buildings and people and shit and being like, this is real? I'm back. I'm back in the material plane.
The NPCs of your realm, Matt, it must have a real hard time accepting your players as as the heroes, as it were.
Not to spoil it, but basically,
that's a hard sales pitch.
He became my world's version of a Tarask at the end game. That became his like lore.
Okay, then.
Yes.
Okay.
But so the players are surrounded by all these Eladrin, and they're basically like, him, he's the fucking Goliath asshole who's been wrecking shit for years. We want him dead. And so the players are like, what the fuck did you do, Krug? And he's like, I did a lot of pillaging and murdering and plundering and
I forgot his name was Krug.
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Well.
And that's when they're at the image.
Did he bang some fairies at least?
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I mean, that's the.
He's like, I probably have some kids around here somewhere.
Probably.
But he, the image of the Sealy Court Queen Tiliana showed up and basically was like, listen, he fucked around way too much in the Feywild and he needs to pay for his penance. He needs to be punished. However, I have a dilemma, and you guys seem pretty capable. And they're like, fuck.
No, not again.
Not again. So this is also when I use the MCM, the white tusk orcs, the blue orcs from the book. Because in the Feywild, there's a big thing with like hobgoblins, like taking over territories of the Feywild, like just basically turning it into like the Lion King, the Elephant Graveyard, like desolate land, destroying it, fucking up the forest.
Never heard
so instead of hobgoblins, I just switched to blue orcs because I wanted to use the blue orcs. Yep. And she's like, "Listen, I need you to get rid of these fucking blue orcs. They're ruining my territory.
I like it. Not orcs, just these blue orcs specifically.
Yeah, these specific blue orcs because Feywild magic turns them blue for some reason.
So what you're telling me is the queen's really racist.
Yes.
Yeah, he doesn't like them because they're blue. Just like I don't like them because they're green.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, listen, listen, the rest of you are guilt by association. So if you do this for me, I'll clear your names. And they're like, all right, I guess. And she's like, also the orcs have the wood over there. And they're like, all right, well, we have to fucking go to the orcs then. Okay, thanks, Matt.
What? Oh, they needed the fort.
Yeah. Yeah, and the player's like,
why are they here again?
Yeah. what are we doing?
They need to make the not Dragonlance.
Not Dragonlance, yeah.
Yeah. The legally distinct Dragonlance.
Yeah. However, and this is something I got from the 4E book too, where a lot of like punishments for like breaking rules and laws are not like as simple as like a slap on the wrist. So for Krug, because he's a barbarian, he's very violent, the queen of the Sealy Court was like, all right, so you like fighting, you like battling, you like winning, you like victory. How about this? You have to go and challenge the chief of the blue orcs, and you have to lose in epic fashion. Only then will your punishment be finished. And he's like, what? No, me? No, I ain't losing. And she's like, well, I guess
you better take the L, bud.
She's like, I guess you're gonna stay here then, huh? And he's like, I did pretty good amount of damage last time.
Oh my god.
And the player's like, no, we need him. Wrong. Fucking. They're like, all right. They're like, Barbarian Krug, buddy, just take a dive, just fall, just do it for us. And he's like, I don't know, I kind of like winning.
I kind of like killing.
He's like,
big
please.
Fan of Smash.
They're like, we will give you the dragon weapon. Just take the dive. And he's like, I suppose.
I like how the fake queen just basically fixed a boxing match.
Yep. Yeah. Good shit. So, players traversing the forest, see this, again, random desert, no life survived in this area, this one section that the orcs, took over. Had to see this big, like, battle tower kind of structure. They basically speak up and they're like, yo, we gotta challenge the orc leader. You guys have something of ours. Turns out the orc leader's not there, the chieftain. They speak with this Oni that is kind of running the show as all these orcs are kind of like taking over, and it's basically like, listen, our chieftain has been missing for some time, and basically no challenges can be made until she's returned. The players are like, what the fuck are we doing here? And while that's going on, Joe And the Shadow Monks see in this big like war camp, basically, that the orcs have a bunch of Feywild civilians like imprisoned, including the tree guy that they need. So they're like, genius. While these guys are talking to the Oni, we'll sneak in and free all the prisoners. What could possibly go wrong?
Oh God, no.
Yep. So they managed to do so successfully, getting all the like the prisoners and teleporting. Basically, like they're fucking 17th level. They used a lot of teleporting, a lot of invisibility, sneaking prisoners out one by one, and the rest of the party basically seeing what is happening. It's literally like players see the shenanigans going on behind the orc's back, or the Oni, and the Oni is so focused on the players in front of them that they don't notice, and neither does any of the other orcs in this camp, because they're all, you know, my player's level 17. They can't fucking, these orcs aren't gonna see invisible magic people, teleportations, all that shit. And so finally, when the camp is basically cleared of all the prisoners, that's when the Oni's like, okay, so listen, if you go get our war chief back, or go to the location that our war chief was at last, then if you bring them back, you probably set up a challenge and fight or whatever, and then we'll trade you the Woadwood. Turns around, sees his entire, like, the cage where all the prisoners are at empty. And the players are just booking it now.
I just want to see the blinking outlines.
The Tom and Jerry outlines, the dust clouds.
Yeah.
Nope.
And this is where I wanted to try and do a high level chase from the DMG rules and like use that. Chase rules are fun, but they don't work really well for high level.
They don't work, period.
No, you can pull. No, dude, they work really good for low level. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've used them multiple times. Not multiple times. Like I've used them twice.
Other games that have done it better. I'll just use their systems.
Sure.
I just use Blades in the Dark for chases.
How does in some short phrases how does that?
It makes
work?
a countdown clock out of it, and it's basically a case of like you're filling your clock, the enemy is filling their clock. Whoever finishes it first wins. Short and quick of it, and then stuff you do, like if you wanted to like throw off your opponent, you could potentially like knock away a chunk of their clock. So kind of like a skill challenge, I guess. And if you
okay, yeah.
But why did they need Woodman again?
So the Woodman was the only one who knew where this like forge that the Delian order that I stole from MCDM. They're the ones that know how to make the dragon weapon, but they kind of hid their forge and their secret lair in the Feywild, and only the Woodwood knows the location of it.
See.
So he's the only one. And originally he was going to be the one to guide the players to the forge.
So Disney.
Yeah, but that didn't happen yet.
Oh, of course it didn't.
No, because this is when shit's gonna get even worse.
Of course.
So, all while this is going on, every once in a while, the Warlock player, he was getting like, little bits from his patron being like, hey, so I'm gonna call upon you really soon. Be at the ready when I call you. And the Warlock's okay. What does that mean? Patron's just like, just be ready. Just don't worry about it. All right, cool. Can my friends come? Patron shrugs. All right, we're in.
Shrugs.
Yeah. So during this chase, which involved God, so much nonsense. The Warlock player just said, fuck this shit, and then de-doored because like how the 5e chase works, you just pick a distance, and then that's how long the chase is. He basically just kept de-dooring until he got to the end. So he's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out. While the rest of the players were dealing with the orcs who were chasing the rest of the players and all the free prisoners riding on their alley. I think I got the image from Lord of the Rings, the big elephants and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Because I thought it was so cool. And so while the Warlock was like literally just waiting on the rest of the party, not helping, the rest of the party was basically just not really doing the chase thing and just kind of just ended up just fighting the orcs and the elephants. Like, what's the magic item? The paint, the pigment that lets you like make things or like cut out things.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about. Yes, the paint that lets you like draw things into reality.
Yeah. So the Shadow Monk, I think recently, I think in the Elf City, he bought there was a magic shop or whatever, and he found one there and he bought it. So he's like, all right, Matt, I'm going to paint a bunch of dynamite and I'm going to put it in the hole. And then when the elephants show up, I'm just going to blow them the fuck up.
I'm like, a bunch of dynamite.
Like,
that's a me thing to do. I'm so fucking proud.
So he would like go on ahead, paint a dynamite, bury in the hole, move on, and then keep doing that. So like every time the elephant would like move forward, they'd hit the dynamite, blow up, fall prone. And then basically the elephants would spend their turn like trying to get up and move, and then basically hit into another thing of dynamite.
Sounds like some more terrorist action.
A little bit. The gunsmith was just pulling a Legolas, both guns. He's like, can I Fred Flintstone down the trunk like Legolas? But like, pull both my 6 shooters out and just blast the shit out of it in the forehead. I'm like, hell yeah, dude.
What the fuck?
Let's see, what else? The Barbarian was just, he literally was just suplexing the elephants. Killing the orcs left by right, using the pet. Using the pet elephant as a weapon itself after a while because he has a storm giant belt now.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while all this is going on, Joe, being now he's the undead warlock guy, was actually being the good player and trying to help out all the prisoners. And he's just like, how can I not do this chase and save all these people? Oh, I know. I'll just plane shift them away.
Of course.
Oh my fucking god.
Of course.
Why? 1 step forward, 2 steps fucking back. I can't.
It gets better. So
it gets better?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
I told Joe back when he first this is his first character. Yeah, this is the character who was originally a shadow sorcerer, then became an old one warlock, and now he's the aberrant mind sorcerer.
Yep.
But he's undead because the character died in Wild Space or whatever. So I told him, like, listen, so if this character comes back, I'm just telling you in advance, the seer, the space guy who works for your patron, is gonna probably find out and gonna come after you at some point. He's like, that's fine. Don't worry about it. He's like, that'll be later.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. So as he is casting plane shift, I'm like, all right, make me an intelligence save.
Oh no.
He's like, he's like, but Matt, I'm a sorcerer. And I'm like, I know. Make me an intelligence save.
That sounds like a whole lot of not my problem.
So he fails to save. Him plus all the prisoners are transported back into the far realm. And they're just sitting on this rock. And they're like, and the seer is doing his villain monologue, being like, you thought death could, you could escape me, but no. And now, I think I pulled it from the Wildmount book. They have this like huge like purple worm eldritch abomination with like a skeleton face that glows. It's so cool. I forgot what the creature's called. But basically the seer's like, now let me just summon my pet to like, finish the job and kill you off. And Joe's like, what? This is what's supposed to happen?
Except for that part where I literally told you this was gonna happen.
Yeah, basically.
Sounds like somebody wasn't listening with their listening ears.
Nope. So, all that is to say that while Joe's character is in another dimension with the prisoners dealing with an eldritch worm abomination, Shadow Monk is fucking Bugs Bunny rabbit dynamiting all the elephants. The gunsmith is Legolasing all the elephants and the fucking orcs.
What did the elephants do to them?
The barbarian is just doing his thing and murdering the shit out of everything in sight. The warlock, way on the other side of the map,
is in a different dimension.
No, he's literally just sitting building sandcastles waiting for the rest of the players when he gets the ping in his head from his patron being like, all right, it's time. I need you now. So he's like, now?
No.
He's like, I'm in the Feywild. We're kind of doing things.
Homie checks his
like,
watch. Now's not really a good time, but
Patron's like, don't care. You're coming with me. Basically, just does the hurl from hell, but like doesn't take any damage.
Yeah.
Teleports the Warlock, all the other players.
The Warlock just looks at his phone. Can we reschedule, bud?
And basically, Joe's character in the Far Realm just gets like snatched up by this big armored devil hand and just thrown into hell. To which the seer's like, "What the fuck? No, this isn't supposed to happen."
God damn it!
This is we and I were supposed to fight to the death.
I like that he had his anime like we're going to fight now, and then another thing distracts them. This is just this is big Kiryu and Majima energy. Of just like, I want to fight you so bad. I'm like, well, I'm a little busy right now. I'm gonna fight you eventually. Like, well, not really. Maybe later.
Yeah, I just like the idea of like an infernal little fucking piece of paper falling down that just says IOU, and he's like, God damn,
like,
fuck.
Yeah. So the players are like, they get thrusted, they land in this giant snow, the snowy area, snowy mountain, freezing to death. And they're like, where the fuck are we? And this is where they meet, also, the Woodwode got saved, luckily, too, because he happened to be with Joe's character. All the other prisoners probably got eaten by that worm.
They're probably dead. It's fine.
Yeah. To which Joe was like, ooh,
whoopsies. My bad. Oh, well, casual, mass murder. Yeah. It's fine.
And this is when they're kind of brought, and they see standing in the middle of the snowfield, like a huge war camp and tents with all these devils. Like pitched up, and basically just making weapons. And this is when they get to meet the Warlock's patron, who we basically just homebrewed because originally the Warlock was a fiend patron, and then changed to a hexblade. But I just kept the same patron because I was like, fuck it, you're still your patron's still a devil. He just imbues your sword with magic.
He makes
he's
sword
basically
go
just
fire.
Devil Knight. Yeah, Devil Knight guy.
Devil Knight. That sounds like an anime.
Yeah.
Devil Knight.
And was basically like, all right, so I brought you all here because our army is advancing. Welcome. This is Stygia, by the way, the 5th layer of hell, the frozen one.
This is the cold one.
Yeah, and the players are like, hell sucks. I thought it was supposed to be hot.
No, only one layer.
All freezing to death. And basically the patron's like, so he's like, we're waging war on the archdevil Garion. We're gonna wage war on his castle.
He's the one with the dude horn, right?
Yep, that's the dude with the horn.
Yep.
He's basically got the weird snake tail with the scorpion stinger, the bat wings, and the big horn.
Yep.
And not like an animal horn, like an actual like
no, like a dude horn, like a trumpet.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a trumpet. It's like a Viking horn, I suppose.
Viking horn, yeah, basically.
Listen, all I know is he doots you.
He doots you. Yeah, he does. He's yeah.
Just
and so the player's like, okay, fucking, we don't want to help this, but I guess we're stuck here if we don't.
Correct.
Hey, can we go to the Feywild? Can you just send us to the Feywild when we're done?
No.
And the devil's like, yeah, of course, yeah, no problem. And they're like, okay, and you're gonna help us fight in this war, right? And he's like, no, this is a test. You know, like what? Like this is the war. Like this is the test. This is the test. They have to prove themselves worthy of getting the 17 levels with my magic. They're like, okay.
And if we fail?
If we fail, they're like, you die. A death of die.
If you fail, you just fucking die. I don't need to punish you because you're fucking dead.
And the players all just look at the Warlock and they're like, the Hexblade, they're like, we hate this.
We hate you.
We hate you. We hate this. I hate that there's snow on my balls. This is
dishonor on you, dishonor on the fiend, dishonor on your cow.
Dishonor on your family and your family's family and your kids' kids and your kids' kids, and also fuck your cat.
Yeah. And then this is where I tried doing a big battle like on my own without really looking up any, like I looked up some rules and stuff, but no one had any good concrete rules for like doing a big army thing. And I kind of eventually like gave up halfway and just had like the players do a combat and then go into another combat instead. Later on now, I've seen a bunch of people do big battles very well. And now it's like, if I ever do that in like my strict saving game, I'll probably use one of those.
Listen, I'm a big fan of big battle. You just zoom in on what the players are up to. Shit's going on around them.
Yeah.
That's how I roll. Although I don't think I've done like a war. No, I was about to say, like, I don't think I've done like a war battle thing. I like 3 sessions ago did that. I don't know what I'm on about. Fucking, don't listen to me.
But yeah, players, you know, they got their armor on. They fought a bunch of devils. It was just the first wave was basically just them killing a bunch of like, you know, low level mooks.
Wave 1.
Yeah, wave 1. Second wave, bigger
Two.
mooks. And then the third one was at the gate where they basically just fought a pit fiend 1v1, like not 1-on-1, but like basically all the players fighting off a pit fiend. That
I feel like only one pit fiend?
Yeah.
I feel like one pit fiend is nothing to level 17 players.
True. Yes and no. So it was basically because again, back in the days, I was using the D&D like encounter per day thing and trying to build encounters, and basically that one pit fiend supposedly even at level 17 was supposed to be a challenge. And I'm like, all right.
Well, the free fireball every turn can be kind of mean if you're not built for it.
I suppose.
But it actually did a pretty decent amount of damage to the players. The only thing it ended up taking out was the clockwork Behir, which I forgot actually. Now that I should have mentioned, that's still with them.
Of course it is. Of course they still have the fucking Behir they stole.
Yep. No, they purchased it.
No, they didn't. They mind controlled a man to say they purchased it.
Same difference.
Not at all.
But the pit fiend ended up blowing the shit out of the clockwork Behir, turning into scrap metal. To which the players are like, all right, just scoop all the bits into the bag of holding. Let's go kill this fucking Garian guy and get the fuck out of here. And this, honestly, again, a lot of people I know aren't happy. I don't know. A lot of people are like mixed feelings on some of the like higher CR monsters in Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes.
Yeah.
Garian was fucking great. It was a good fucking fight. It was a good boss monster. He has this horn, and basically I just treated it like he just kept summoning Minotaur minions. So CR3 creatures, you know, minions, every turn would just summon a fuck ton of them, so the players had to deal with that. He also had 2 Ice Devil kind of guardians with him. And then him himself being pretty fucking like beefy boy.
Matt, I don't know what this has nothing to do with it, but you were like, yeah, he had some ice guardians, and my brain just immediately went, Gate Guardian in defense position. Don't know why.
No, these are the weird Ice Devil bug guys.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why I gotta look up why. Fuck, I don't remember why Ice
bugs?
Devils are bugs. I don't know what the fuck.
As their code to the core.
I guess.
I have no idea.
But I think the Garian fight was probably one of my most successful boss fights I've ever done.
Oh, it's GE. I was like, where is this motherfucker?
Oh, GE, yeah, GER, Gary, and then on.
Yeah, Gary. No, but Gary with an E, not Gary with an A.
Gary with an E. Yeah, true.
Also, why his chest so hairy?
I don't know.
I just don't like I don't like that he's got a hairy ass chest, and not like he's a furry man. Like he's just got a hairy chest.
Yeah.
Very strange. I just don't like that.
But it was a good fight because the players, they had to deal with a lot of the minions, like focusing on a lot of the minions and crowd control as best they could, while some of the other like players ended up dealing with Garian and the Ice Devils. I felt bad for Joe because one of the things Garian can do is he can just banish somebody as I don't remember if it's a layer action or legendary action. So he just banished Joe throughout 90% of the fight, and Joe was like, "This sucks."
Yeah, it's a layer action.
Joe's like, "I fucking hate
That's fucking
this."
mean.
That is.
He's like,
also, the fact that it's a layer action is really funny because that means he doesn't have to do it.
"Nope."
Yep. No concentration. No nothing. You're just fucked.
Which is bye.
Yeah. And then I think he had like some sort of attack that also like just restrains people when he hits them. So he just had the barbarian constantly restrained and was just walloping the shit out of him every 5 minutes. Which even the barbarian was like, I'm feeling pain. This doesn't happen often. What is happening? And the gunsmith was, I think, doing, again, because fucking the gunsmith does so much damage. Eventually Garian was like, "You're annoying." And I think he can just freely teleport or as a bonus action teleport like 100-something feet. Trying to remember. I don't remember the stats at the top of my head. But basically, he just teleported, just basically one-shot the gunsmith. And then the Shadow Monk's like, oh, I'll save you, friend. Tried kidney punching Garion, didn't work. Garion almost one-shot him.
As an action, he can teleport.
I think it's one of his legendary actions.
He can also do. Yeah, he can also legendary action teleport.
That's what I was doing. Yeah. Because I kept having him teleport around the map, and half the players were like chasing him down, being like, "You son of a bitch!"
Hey, yeah, big fan of that one. I did when my players fought the ancient Sapphire Dragon. There was a lot of teleporting going on there too. Big fan.
8.
Great.
And
I hate my heart.
So funny.
And so the Shadow Monk's like, he ended up getting like a crit and got like a really good blow that like basically brought Garion to 0. And so the player's like, yes, we did it. And then I started describing as like ice started forming over Garion's chest and everything. And I'm like, all right, and now this is when his mythic actions start.
You gave
and
him mythic
recently,
actions.
right before the session before, someone released on GM's Guild a PDF called Mythic Actions, and they took a bunch of high monsters, including Garion, and they gave him Mythic Actions. And I'm like, I'm just going to use these.
Fantastic.
And so the players are like, no. And it doubled the amount of damage he did. It doubled his AC, basically. He was just even like, yeah, it was rough. He summoned like ice spikes that would just restrain people. So half the party couldn't move, and the only thing they could do was take pot shots.
Yeah.
And which by this point, even though Garion was like, you know, he's doing his mythic actions and he's hurt, he was like, I feel good right now. And he sees the Warlock, who's just the entire fight has just been dealing like with the Minotaurs, trying to keep him off the other players, using like his Eldritch Blast and action surges and shit. And so Garion's like, oh, you're the Night Devils guy. I'm gonna fuck with you now. Warlock's like, no, please.
Yeah, see, I had a great time because my players fought Arasta 2 sessions ago, and one of her mythic actions is anyone trapped in her web, she just does force damage to for freezies.
For freezies, yeah.
And that was hilarious.
Oh yeah.
Although I will say equally hilarious, she has a normal legendary action that is she deals poison damage to someone trapped in her web, and I was like, all right, cool. Brett, all your minions get poisoned, and Brett just goes, they're skeletons, they're immune to poison. And I was like, oh, I forgot about that. And I hate you. I hate that is the thing. Because Brett used the fucking Dance Macabre spell. We had 7 skillies.
You know what's funny? Me and my players always get confused with like, because I guess in older editions, skeletons and a lot of undead used to just be immune to necrotic damage, and then 5e swapped it to poison damage, that does make sense too. But I think some of the higher level ones
they should probably be immune to both. Just saying.
Right. It feels like it's right, but they don't for some reason.
Well, they also skeletons in 3rd edition ? You could only hurt with bludgeoning damage. They were immune to slashing and piercing.
I know they're resistant to.
No, they're not
Piercing, aren't they?
Nope.
5e? I know
they're just weak to bludgeoning.
Oh,
they are vulnerable to bludgeoning, but they have no resistances. But they are immune to poison. Just once again proving that poison is just the most useless damage type, and despite what Wizard says about the fact that we didn't balance things based on damage typings, poison is just bad.
I really want to build like a poison assassin character one day. We'll take the assassin feat and shit, but like, yeah, higher level monsters are just immune.
Yeah.
So it's at the point you're just like, why am I even with the feat?
Nah.
It doesn't negate immunity. I think it only negates resistance. Sorry. The feat negates immunity, doesn't negate resistance, and then there's the one spell feat that lets you like pass over immunity or resistance. It's weird. I'm talking like a build I looked up like a year and a half ago.
Did not look that into it, but yeah, no. Most things, poison just becomes hilariously worthless pretty early on.
Kind of annoying.
Fire damage also kind of has that problem depending on what you're fighting.
True, yeah.
Like Descent into Avernus, where fire damage might as well not exist.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
And now you know why, as Paz, I made all of his damage psychic or lightning, maybe.
I mean, yeah.
Or radiant and lightning, sorry.
fuck was I?
Arian squaring up with the Warlock.
Warlock, yeah. So the Warlock, because again, you know, the player was dealing a good, decent bit of damage holding their own against Garion. Meanwhile, as this was going on, the players are still taking pot shots. Garion's not really being affected by it. It comes time to where he has to use another lair action. And the banished one is the only one he hasn't used because he still had Joe banished. So I'm like, oh no, Joe has to come back now and I have to try and banish somebody else. To which he's like, all right, fuck it, I'll save the Warlock for later. The Warlock passed the save. Joe comes back and then the Garion's like, oh no. To which Joe's like, yeah, Joe used the I think what's the Abermind, their ultimate thing? They just transform into this horrific like goop brain monster and they basically just deal a butt ton of psychic damage. And he's like, this is what you get for banishing me the whole fight, you fucking nerd.
No, I think they
get some kind of form.
No,
like,
so
transformation.
so they do get a form. They get Revelation in Flesh, which is they like
that was it.
They can like become invisible and they get like a flying and a swim speed as they like sprout cilia and their fucking eyeballs stick out and stuff. But you're probably thinking of Warping Implosion, which is their final ability, which is where they like teleport and do a shitload of damage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I don't actually know. My players weren't level 18 yet, so never mind. I'm just Joe was just throwing every fucking.
I was gonna say maybe you're just making things up then. I don't know.
Maybe I'm just making things up. Yeah, Joe is just throwing his most powerful spells at him and just being like, "Fuck you, Devil Man."
You, Devil Man.
And then using this momentum, the other players managed to break free of their ice spikes that were restraining them, and the Warlock actually got the final hit in on Garion, basically just slicing off his head with his sword. And he's like, "Yeah, for the Night Devil, bitch. Fuck your test."
For the Spicy Boys.
That's right.
Team Spicy Squad.
So the players, they killed Garion, the Serpent Lord. Fucking nerd. The Knight showed up. Because, of course, Devil Knight showed up and basically was like, all right, good job. You passed the test. You did it. I'm gonna give you your reward now. To which I gave the Warlock player. I think I ended up homebrewing one of the what do you call it? The Wild Mount vestiges. Because they had one that was like a bunch of like devil powers and fire shit. And I just basically gave it to the Warlock. I'm like, here's your reward. Here's your sword. And then I also just leveled up the players. Because I'm like, all right, you're level 18 now. Trying to wrap this shit up. Let's go. And I also gave some of the players, I think this was also from Tome of Foes, where there are like certain abilities and shit you can give like monsters and cultists and shit. Like, so like if you have a cultist who worships Zariel, you can have this thing that gives them basically like an action surge. And like a bunch of other cool like devil powers and abilities and shit. And I basically just gave a couple of those out to my players, being like, the Night Devil thanks you. And half the players are like, oh, can I refuse? I don't want devil magic.
Can I refuse?
I'm trying to be like, no.
Yeah, basically, the Night Devil's like, no, no take backs. He
slaps him a crisp high five. No, bud, no, you can't.
Yeah.
They just paps him on the face. Now you have devil magic. Never go to a church again.
God hates you.
Yeah. So the players were after that deal. The players are like, okay, cool. Can we go back to the Feywild now? And the devil was like, yeah, sure. However, points at Joe. This guy is most likely going to get teleported to the Far Realm. I can't stop that, even with my magic. There's something wrong with him. And then the players turn to Joe, and he's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you guys. I got warped earlier.
I had a bad time.
I got warped.
Meanwhile, all this time, the Woodwood has just been like doing the thing where he's drawing frowny faces and just pointing at Joe the entire time. Like, this fucking guy.
Wait, can they not talk?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
Either way, it's funnier if they don't.
No, they speak Sylvan, but none of the players knew how to.
Oh, right. Right. So, yeah, that checks out.
So like, they're like, speak English, you fairy tree man, and he just fucking groans.
He just flips on the bird.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do.
And so the player's like, okay, I mean, we just dealt with one boss fight. Surely the next one won't be as fucking bad.
Surely the next.
And this
I
is
mean,
where
we
pulled
just
the-
beat up one guy. Surely we could beat up another one. I mean, I don't
Yeah, this is where I also pulled the just Elden Ring boss rush shit. So they go back into the far realm. They see the seer, the fucking weird tentacle guy floating in space. And he's like, now you're back. Now you have time to deal with me. Well, now I brought more worms. And like 3 of the purple worm eldritch things come. And then all the players turn to Joe and he's just like, listen, I didn't, that's not my fault. I
didn't sign up for this.
So, and I actually I had this battle map where they're like on asteroids and there's like different asteroids with different colored runes. And I thought it was cool that I had this idea that each of the worms were a different color. And then basically the players had to stand in the circle of the, the specific worm.
No, Matt, you did a Final Fantasy 14 raid boss.
Oh, is that what that's? Oh shit. Cause I thought it was a cool idea. And like, I mean, it worked.
Yeah,
The players, it wasn't really a annoyance or any, like it was a bit of a slight annoyance, but like the players mostly took it as, all right, we just got to do an extra step to kill these things. Okay.
Yeah. There's a 24 man in 14 where you get to this hallway. There's 24 mans consist of 3 groups of 8. So you get to a hallway and there's 3 bridges with the enemy standing on it. And then the corresponding color to make it so you can hit the enemy is on a different bridge. So like bridge 1 has guy with yellow shield, but the platform for yellow shield is on bridge 2.
Yeah,
and then bridge 2
okay.
guy has the blue platform. So everyone needs to have some people on the platform and some people killing the boss.
Shit. Okay,
Wait, what raid is that for?
That's the fucking first raid. That's Crystal Tower. It's 24.
Oh,
the three
yeah.
Atmos on the bridges.
Yeah.
Crystal Tower, specifically,
Yeah.
Cypress Tower? Question mark. I think I don't.
Yeah,
quote me on
Circus
that.
Tower.
I think. Yeah.
So the players, so they took out the 3 worms. All the while, the seer, who I think I used the star spawn seer stat, was just throwing hot, magic psychic energy balls at Joe's character. They killed the worms, they killed the seer, and then I was like, it'd be cool if like all good bosses, they had another phase again. And the players are like, no, please stop. And this is also when this is right after Van Richten's guide came out, and there's a cool new monster there called the Star Spawn Emissary.
Yeah, buddy.
That's basically just a giant mass of flesh and tentacles, and I'm like, it'd be real unfortunate if the seer just fused with all his worms and just became this pile of gook.
Yep.
So that was fun.
The rabbit face, the pig face, and the fucking gorilla face, and the monkey face really got me fucked up.
It's horrifying. But this was also a really cool creature to use against high-level players.
Is that actually what its art is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's not what it is on 5e tools.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Okay.
There's 2 of them. There's the greater and the lesser. I use the greater.
Hold on.
Like I could just send you the link. But yeah, I threw this thing at them at the end. After all that, they did it. They killed the seer finally. Joe's old warlock patron, because now he's not. I don't even know. Because Joe went from being a somewhat cultist guy to a warlock of an old great one to now just being an undead aberrant infused because of his old patron.
Side note, I just need to take a quick backtrack. Just the internet.
Yeah.
14 fans don't crucify me. The Atmos thing with the 3 bridges I was talking about is from Labyrinth of the Ancients, not Circus Tower.
Oh.
So we're just don't kill me. I double checked. Labyrinth of the Ancients. Sorry.
Well,
All right, continue.
so Joe's patron was like, all right, good job, man. You did it. You survived. You killed the seer. Now you are my chosen dude. I don't remember. I think I gave Joe something. I don't remember.
You are now my head, Chad.
Yeah, basically. And Joe's like, neat.
Nice.
And then basically he was like, wait a minute, patron, old patron. I don't know.
Listen, bud.
What you're not like evil, right? You're like, and the patron just kind of shrugs like, well, I'm like a great old one.
Listen,
So,
listen.
I mean,
evil
kind
is a
of.
matter of perspective, bud.
Yeah.
Wait, please tell me his patron talks like the way you're talking now, where he's like, well, I mean, I'm a great old one.
No,
so.
I did like a scary. I tried doing like a scary Cthulhu voice. So, yeah.
Okay, but wait, did you in your scary Cthulhu voice? Yeah,
I do.
Is he just like, yes? Well, I am evil because I am like.
No, I literally was like, he's like, I'm kind of evil. Like,
yes, kind of.
I love the idea of Cthulhu, but like you go to talk to him, and he's just like, so like, are you evil? And he's like, I mean, it's like a matter of perspective. I don't know what you're just like. I don't know, but just give him like a Brooklyn accent or some shit. It's really casual Cthulhu.
Shit, bro, I don't know. You know, you're asking me a lot of tough questions here. You're like, what really is evil? You know what I'm saying?
What's
like, I'm just
really evil? You want to make an egg and cheese?
I'm just a great old one. You know, I'm the priest of the other ones. They're probably worse than I am, but I do some bad things too sometimes.
Yeah.
Some gabagool, you know? I don't know.
So after all of that, players return to the Feywild. Finally, they get back and they're like, okay, no more plane hopping. No more hells, no more space. Can we please get to the Feywild Forge thing?
Bro,
and build this stupid teeth weapon.
Why did you do all this shit from point A to point? Like, this is so much crap.
Because I had a lot of background character shit I had to wrap the fuck up, and I was like, this is the only time we're going to be able to do it.
I fucking guess.
This is
much crap.
Again, this is GM burnout, Matt. Also, not sleeping late.
I know, but GM burnout Matt should have done less crap, not more.
Well, no, I did less crap because those were going to be their own story arcs, and instead, I just forced them the fuck into this Feywild.
Fair enough.
Insane.
Fair enough. You know what else?
You
know what else helps this problem, Matt?
What?
Having less players.
No, the less players thing, again, I know you gripe on it, but honestly, the less player thing isn't the problem because at this point, I only had 5 players.
I mean, that's because
Sammy
still
was
too many in my book.
1 player doesn't make a fucking difference between
absolutely
4 and 5.
Matters.
A
whole ass person is relevant.
This is where, okay, 1 player can make the world of difference, but like 5 players, nah, it's all right.
But
that's what I'm saying. Comparing 4 to 5 isn't that bad. Then when you get to like 6 and higher, that's when it's like, all right, this is all
right. I mean, you're allowed to be wrong, but my point is if you have less players, you have less backstories to worry about.
No, wait, hold on.
Listen, I'm just saying, Matt Mercer has like 6 or 7 players at a table at a time.
Yeah, Matt Mercer's an idiot too. What's your point?
I don't know, sir. He's making pretty.
Matt Mercer gets paid to do this horse shit. You don't get paid to suffer.
Yeah, I do it because I love it.
That's okay. You can love it with less people.
No.
Like an orgy, you don't have to have 6. You can do 3. You can do 4.
The fuck? That doesn't count as an orgy. Wait, what is the actual limit of orgy? Like, I
think 4.
Really?
Because like 3 would be a threesome, right? So 4 would be,
Yeah. It's a 4 is a foursome. So that's what I think. I thought orgy was like, I don't know. I don't even know what like the limit, like, or not limit.
I think 4 is an acceptable number to be like, small orgy.
Because that's just a 4Z. You usually just swap partners all the time. That's not that bad.
That's still.
No, orgy is like you swap partners and then you swap partners and then you swap partners and then you
so
go take a break and get some juice.
Maybe 6.
You swap partners.
I don't
know. Anyways,
my point is more is not always better. That's really all I'm trying to get at here.
No, I agree.
Look,
I agree.
Anything above 6, yes, I agree with you, sir. That's
I think 6 is a good hard cap. I think 6 is a good hard cap because there will be times where players.
6 is a hard cap, bro.
Yeah, I think 6 is a good hard cap because again, you might have some times where like players will miss a session, so at least you still have 5. Even if you miss 2 players, you still have 4. You can still play.
But
worst case,
if you have less players, you miss session less because they have less people to wrangle.
Inversely, you could miss it more because if you have less players and 1 person can't make it, then you can't run a game with 2 people, for example.
I mean you can.
It's just not as fun.
But my point is it's scheduling is easier with less people.
You whether it's 5 or 6, scheduling is scheduling no matter what.
But it's still easier with less people. That is just a factual statement.
Yeah. But running a game with less people.
You can't argue. You can't. It's a factual. Like you can't. It's true.
I can.
You can't. You cannot argue a truth, sir.
Yeah, he literally like you better say it. I'll still argue it.
Yeah, we will agree to disagree.
There's no agreement here. It's a factual statement that it is easier to schedule less people than more. That is just a fact. There's no
Yeah, but when
argument
it
to be
comes-
had.
yeah,
There's
but when it
nothing to
comes to
agree on.
D&D, it doesn't matter.
If you did it to him.
All right, y'all finish. I'm gonna head out.
Fucking got him.
So they get back to the Feywild. Fucking Woodward's like, finally, fuck, I can bring these losers to the Forge and leave them the fuck out of here. Fuck these guys. I hate them so much. Brings to the Forge. I ended up using, there was actually a map from Candlekeep Mysteries, like a really cool, like, library, kind of elf dungeon forge map that I used that has this really cool system where there's a door that has basically where the forge is and everything locked up in this orrery. And the only way to get through is that the players have to fight like the guardians of the forge, because this place was made way ancient times, high elven magic shit. And the players are like, all right, cool, we'll fight, whatever, fine. The fight was a bunch of, I think it was, I forgot what the stat blocks were, but basically a bunch of like ancient elven like guardians, like mummified corpses, and a bunch of these iron golems, which I think there was like 3 iron golems and a bunch of the what are they called? The mummy lords, but they didn't have their spell casting. So it was basically just really beefed up mummies.
Yeah, it was like just a voided up fucking mummy. Yeah.
Voided up mummies, and the players like, oh, mummies, no problem. Mummy just kidney punches one of the players. Oh god, that hurts.
I'm thinking of a fucking Matt. I know you forego everything about Red versus Blue miraculously, but you have to remember the whole like meta moving in slow motion thing.
Oh no.
You know, when he's like, when
sounds-
they fuck up his like time distortion ability, and he's like, oh, he's moving slowly, and fucking Doc's like, oh, then he's not like a threat, right? He's like, no. He's still moving with the same force and mass. We're just perceiving it as slower. Don't let him touch you. He's still gonna hit you really hard when he does. And Doc's like, what? No, that's not possible. And it like the fist tinks his helmet and gets sent flying into a brick wall.
He's just like, oh, fuck. That was good. So the players they fight off the mummy waves and everything. I took a puzzle from Tasha's, the one that had like the 4 elements, and the players are like, they accidentally activated that mid wave, which summoned a bunch of all 4 of the genies. I was there, the Freedy, the Jinn.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So the players are like, what is happening? What are these monsters doing here? And Joe actually managed to solve the puzzle, so he ended that encounter pretty quickly. Because it's like a tile puzzle, then you have to like put the tiles together in order to solve the puzzle, so that there were like these mural paintings on the wall, and each mural will have a different genie pop out of them. And so while the players were fighting off all the iron golems, fighting off all the mummies, and then fighting off these 4 jinn that were just coming in, Joe's like playing with tiles on the floor, like, and then this one connects with this one, this one connects with this one, and he managed to solve the puzzle. So he finally got
like, Joe, help! He's like, hold on, I'm problem solving.
Yeah, basically.
Doing math.
But they end up getting into the room where originally I was gonna have another fucking boss fight. But then the players were like, I was like, I've been throwing too many fights at them, and let me try and do the, maybe they can conversate with this boss, which was basically like this, evil kind of Shadowfell touched Feywild lady, used a lot of like dark necrotic like glass magic and shit. And so the players initially were trying to talk her down and be like, listen, you don't have to guard this for anybody, it's fine. And it turns out that she was, in fact, for my players, just for homebrew story nonsense, that she originally was in love with and working for the Overlord. And he basically just locked her in here, was like, listen, just guard this for me, make sure no one comes in, I'll be back in 5. Never came back.
I'll be back. Just getting some cigarettes and some...
Basically. And so she's been waiting here for, centuries for this guy to come back and like bring her home and tell her he loves her. And so she's just mad and just fucking heartbroken. And so the players are like trying to comfort her and be like, listen, you don't need him. You're a strong, independent Feywild lady. You don't need no man. And then immediately the barbarian's like, I'll marry you. I'll be your new king. Don't worry, baby. We got this.
Oh no.
I don't know. And the rest of the players are like, what, but, and then she agreed. So now they're, now he's got a nice new shadow Feywild lady wife.
What? She just agreed on the spot?
Yeah.
Bam.
Listen, she's a crazy, heartbroken fae, Josh. You know, you do crazy things when you're in love. With the person you just met.
I was gonna say she's in love with the guy she just met. I don't know about that.
She is a fae. That is sort of their whole thing. Where it's like logic,
they were nice
emotion, everything.
I fucking guess.
Yeah.
They're so emotional. Their entire dimension goes off what the fuck it wants every 2 seconds of the day.
Mm-hmm.
The Feywild could just be like, it's on fire now, and then go, actually it's snowing, but the snow is fire, and you're like, what the fuck?
What the snow? Fire snow.
But the players, so they averted that. They got into the forge where they had a guardian, another guardian, but like it was like this. I actually used the art. I forgot what this dude's called, but it's the MC the art of the elf with a long sword tied to his back, and he's basically wearing like these purple kind of like Tarzan, loincloth, and his skin is like blue and has stars in it. He's like made of space and everything, and basically he's like, I'm the last.
Said, oh no, sexy elf man.
Yeah, basically, and then the Shadow Fae lady was like, he was here the whole time. And basically this NPC was like, oh, I've been waiting for someone to come, and I know the Dragon Queen is back, and she's gonna destroy the world and burn it down. You guys stop her, and we will build this weapon together. And they're like, okay, all right, cool. And this is where I told Josh last session about it. Because my players this all the time, they thought that when they take the weapons, they thought they heard that the weapon is going to be some sort of like sphere or ball or spear. And they like made the joke. They're like, oh, it's the chromosphere, it's a ball, we're going to Pokeball the final boss. It's going to be great. And this is where I brought up where this elf NPC was like, oh, who told you? Oh, no, they're pranking you guys. It's not a spear, and it's not a sphere. It's a dragon lance. You're going to make a dragon lance, and all my players groaned. Like, fucking nerd, fuck. And I ended up stealing the critical role when they made their the little beads, those spikes they used against Vecna.
Mm.
I think I took that skill challenge and I added some of my own into it because I had more players. Or I had 5 players at the time. And each player got their own special skill challenge for their character and their skills. Like, obviously, the barbarian, he's like, fucking athletics like a motherfucker. He's like, I'm going to rage. I'm going to use all my things. Someone casts enlarge on me. I'm going to fucking pound the shit out of these magic items for my new wife. He's like,
my new wife.
Joe used some his sorcerer space magic. Warlock infused some of the hexblade magic. The gunsmith made sure that the lance was in its proper shape because he works on making bullets and guns and shit. He was the only one who was kind of like proficient in like smithing. So he's like, I'll be able to shape it into the actual fucking thing. And the Shadow Monk also kind of infused some of his like Shadow Monk magic, the key points stuff into it. I don't remember. It's been so long. But yeah, they built the lance. They got it down. And when I sent them the description of it, this is also when James Hake, when he was working for D&D Beyond, he had that article about attacking a creature in the weak point. And I love that mechanic so much. So when I gave the players a stat of the Dragon Lance, it was like this +3, it does all this crazy damage. It basically was like a Mega Dragon Slayer. But at the very bottom, it had this whole paragraph of like killing the main bad guy. And it's like, when Furix is at her, the players have to attack the weak spot with the Dragon Lance in order to take out Furix and, basically erase her from existence. And the player's like, weak spot? What does that mean, Mr. Elf NPC? To which he shrugged.
I don't know, figure it out.
Yeah, basically. So that'll come up eventually. And I think I just... Oh! One last thing, and I'll end it here. While this was going on, and the players were fighting all the mummies, and the iron golems, and the 4 genies, and then talking with the shadow Feywild lady that became the barbarian's wife, she had a bunch of these, like, basically statue glass people over, and basically these were other adventurers and other people who broke in, tried to get into the forge, and she would just turn them basically like a Medusa, almost turn them to stone, but glass. one of the people they freed was the war chief for the orcs.
Oh, it was Grom Hellscream.
Yeah. Who ended up turning out, and I talked with Sammy about this, was her very first character, the one that, the barbarian girl, the one that got the first roll of the game was a natural 20 to cut the chin off the guy. And so the players are like, oh shit, she's an NPC now. Wait a minute. How the fuck are you in here? Why are you a chief? Why are you a war chief of a bunch of blue orcs? You're not blue. And she's like, I
like how that's
blue.
the part that they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part they focus on. You're not blue.
Like, what are you doing with these guys?
I feel like there's other problems here, but okay.
Yeah. And basically she told them, she's like, oh, well, after I left the party, I wandered around for a while. I fell down a rabbit hole into the Feywild and basically just started taking over. I found these cool, these blue orc guys, the white tusks. I think they're pretty neat, pretty fun guys. We started wrecking havoc, killing a bunch of people, doing all the, evil barbarian things. And then they just look at Krug, the barbarian. They're like, why are you all like this? Why are all barbarians should not be like this? Why are you like this? He just shrugged.
What is your problem?
And so the players told her about their predicament with the Fey Queen of the Sealy Court, and they're like, listen, Krug has to fight you. Can we get that over with after we make the dragon weapon? She's like, yeah, sure, whatever. Like, you guys, she's like, we were tight back in the day. I'll do this favor for you guys, but I'm probably gonna kill him. And they're like, I don't know about that one. I don't think that's gonna work because he's just Krug. He's this guy's like a living Tarrasque. It's not gonna work out.
It's Krug.
And so the players, they built the weapon, they got everything ready, and they're like, okay, we have to go back. Before we go back to the material plane, we have to deal with this because the Summer Queen won't let us. And then they started questioning. They're like, wait a minute, I thought the Summer Queen said we couldn't leave the plane. But we've been getting pulled left and right out of this fucking plane. And then that's when me being the DM being like, well, yeah, because those are other, like, powerful beings pulling you guys out of the plane. It's not you on your own doing it. She can't stop an infernal, like, archdevil from pulling you guys out of the Feywild.
Maybe she should try harder.
She should probably try harder. Or like a weird psychic goopy star spawn guy. And the players are like, so we can't leave the Feywild on our own unless we do this. God damn these fucking Fey. I'm done with this.
I hate all these rules.
Yeah. So they go off. Basically, after they build Dragonlance, the elf NPC guy, the star skin guy, basically was like, all right, go. You just have to kill her. Go save the day. When you do so, reality, because of all the magic infused in this weapon, is going to kind of warp around and change, and you might not remember everything that happened. And like, what do you mean? They're like, well, originally, the old order, their way of trying to stop the god, the only way they thought to kill a god was just to erase her name from history and existence. And so a lot of the old order magically used up all their life energy to erase her name, to make sure no one can speak her name unless under very, very certain, like, rare circumstances, like you guys being attuned with the item. And the player's like, oh, that's why all that time ago, like, anytime someone spoke the name, it was all staticky. That's why, like, and we tried getting that one guy to write the fucking name of the god on the dirt, and we saw nothing. It's just stupid magic.
Because they done deleted her ass.
Magic. It's just stupid magic.
Just use magic to make the problem go away.
Yeah. And the elf NPC was like, listen, to be fair, it almost worked.
It almost works. I like the player, like, listen, we were trying to make it so she didn't come back. She almost didn't come back. So, you know, it's something. We tried.
God damn.
Oh, I can't really blame
Yeah, and then the players were like, "Okay, cool. We're gonna let's just go fight. Let's go fight the war chief, our old friend, and get this over with." And so as Krug, the barbarian, goes, goes one-on-one with this high level. I forgot what stats I gave her. I think I honestly did give her the stats of a Tarrasque, just for the meme, but just as a small half-orc girl. And then basically she actually beat Krug. And basically just killed him. And he's just like, wait a minute. He's like, I I'm not. Wait a minute. I'm taking damage again. What is this? I don't like this.
Why does
I'm
this
supposed
keep
to
happening?
win.
I don't understand.
I'm taking damage again.
Wait, wasn't
He's like, this is bullshit.
how dare you? Wait, wasn't Krug related to that character?
Yeah. So out of character, Krug in real life, our buddy Ragnar,
Right.
Sammy.
I know
is
he's
his
related to
adoptive.
her.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm saying,
the
wasn't-
characters. No.
oh, I thought the characters were too.
No. The characters weren't related at all.
No.
Krug was a half orc. Oh no, Krug was Goliath barbarian. Sammy's original character was a half orc barbarian, and then she switched over to the Snurfeblin barbarian druid that shows up randomly.
As you do.
Yeah. So yeah, she ended up killing Krug's character, and the players are like, all right, cool, we're gonna have to bring him back to life. And then the players remember that none of them know any fucking healing spells.
Yeah.
And they can't bring up anything. And they're like, wait a minute. They're like looking through their bags of tricks, and a long time ago in the Underdark, they bought just for an emergency. And I think it's an item in Wildmount too. It's a bag with this dust that'll let you cast the reincarnation spell.
Wait, doesn't Krug have a fucking magic fey wife? Can't she do something?
No,
Just no.
she doesn't have. No, she can't bring him back.
Why not?
No, magic.
You can't. You can't use the same argument that you.
Yes,
okay.
you fucking
There's
can.
different types of magic, Josh. There are clerical magic, and then there's weird fey magic. God. Jeez.
And tell me the weird fey magic can't bring someone back to life.
Well, not. You know, it wasn't her stat block, so I just said fuck it.
Fuck you. I hate that response.
So the players are like, all right, they just dumped the bag on Krug's body. They're like, all right, hopefully he comes back as a Goliath. I had him roll on this table that had every race,
Oh boy.
and he got a halfling.
Nice. Let's fucking go.
So for the rest of the campaign,
Krug
he
is a
stayed as a halfling
I
barbarian, wielding
love
this, which I said, like, because he's like sitting there now. He's like, all right, I'm a halfling now. Am I able to wield my greatsword? He's like, I don't think I can. And I'm like, you know what, dude, you're wearing a fucking belt of storm giant strength. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, sure. He's like, yes.
The game, it hadn't come out yet, but he could have done the, okay, cool, so I consider myself size medium.
I mean, yeah.
So dumb.
But also,
But no, he dealt with it.
wait, if it was
funny
just a
shit.
normal greatsword, he could just buy another one.
No, it was the. Wait, what do you mean?
Well,
Oh, buy a
because you could just
one-
buy a. Oh well, no, the heavy tag.
Yeah, that's the
Gives you
thing. Yeah.
advantage.
But I just said fuck it because he's like, listen, he's like, my strength is a 29. I reckless
29?
every attack in general. Yeah, because that's what the belt of storm giant strength gives you.
Oh, I didn't realize it was 29.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, well,
So he's like, listen, he's like, I'm just gonna reckless attack anyways. He's like, so I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I'm like, you can just wield it. It's fine. I don't care. He's like, yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
I like the chutzpah though. I'll just keep reckless attacking. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, that was his joke because he was the barbarian that dumped dexterity and intelligence because he's like, I don't
need
he's
this
like,
shit.
he's like, I don't need to dodge. He's like, I'm a barbarian. He's like, I'm the tank, like the totem barbarian.
But what
He's
about
like,
his AC?
I have so much health. It
Oh,
doesn't even matter.
He just didn't care about getting hit. He just said,
No,
"Fuck it."
no, he just put all his stats in the strength and con, took the tough feat, like he just fucking constantly made sure that he had so much health.
I mean, you do you, bud.
He also rolled like every time he rolled for health, he always rolled like almost max. It was something dumb. By the end of the campaign, he had like almost 400 health or something like 400 health.
My God.
I was like, fucking
Damn.
hell. Yeah.
All right, so you all take 80 health, and Krug goes, "Damn, that's like one quarter."
He's like weak sauce.
"Shame."
But yeah, the players, so now they're like, okay, are we done? Are we done now, Krug? Are you done with your nonsense? He's like, okay. He said goodbye to his new shadow wife. He's like, listen, I'll be back.
Shadow
He's
wife.
like, I'll actually be back, unlike that other dickhead.
He turned
He's like-
around, looked at her, pointed aggressively, and said, "Ride, wife."
Basically, yeah.
Life
And
good.
he's like, I don't know. He's like, when I come back, he's like, we are gonna have so many kids.
Ride wife. Life good.
And off they went. And then at this point, I just leveled them up to 20 because I was like, who plays at level 19? Fuck that noise. And so for this last, I guess probably the next time I record one of these
Wait,
misadventures.
did you just jump them to 20?
Yep. Because they were level 18 at this point, and I was like, you know what? It doesn't. I'm like, why am I going to save level 20? Let them play at level 20 at the end. I'm like, fuck it. So they played level 20 for like the last like 3 or 4 weeks of the campaign.
Sure.
Yeah. Because I was like, again, like who plays at 19? 18 is really high, but also I was like, fuck it.
Isaiah jumped to 19 my last session unexpectedly.
Yeah, buddy.
Wait, just Isaiah?
Yep.
I was kind of ahead on XP.
He was a bit ahead on XP, and I gave him enough that he went, oh, I jumped to 19. I went, wait, what? And then I looked and I was like, ah, shit. So everyone else is 18 and Isaiah's 19.
That's funny. Yeah.
It's about to get real dumb when I hit level 20.
I can't wait.
Well, don't you worry, bud. Getting
Yeah,
close.
now I got the dragon weapon. They're all set and ready to go. They're level 20. Time for the actual end game. So I could rest and take my DM break. Because at this point I was like so tired. I was like, fuck, man.
I mean, you say that. You didn't stop for very long.
Well, playing or DMing?
DMing.
I stopped for about a year.
It was less.
Maybe. Because like we were in, because I was in, this is when I was also, I was still also still in Storm King's Thunder. So I was
Oh, yeah.
in school. I was running my game. I was playing Descent to Avernus with you guys, and I was playing in Storm King's Thunder at the same time. So I was stretching myself way too thin on top of just college. Like it was so dumb. Like looking back on it.
I did forget about.
Which I love the campaign and I love the people I was playing with, and like it was a blast. And honestly, as much stress as shit as I put on myself because of that, I wouldn't change a thing because it was such a good time. But it was a lot. Like looking back at it, it was like fuck.
Well, I mean, the thing you would change is just less, or shorter game.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
I said it in the last recording, I think. I don't remember anymore. But like, if you're not going 4 years, is there really a point?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
boss.
I will say, like, I finishing the 3.5 year game, almost 4 years. Like, I told my players too, like, Strixhaven, this like Strixhaven Mad Mage game. I'm like, when we hit the 2 year mark, I'm gonna have the talk and be like, do we still want to continue or do we want to stop? Because I feel like 2 years.
How close are you getting?
We just hit 1 year.
Oh, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And things are gonna start picking up in Strixhaven, but I'm also kind of like looking at Mad Mage, and now I'm like, I don't know, there's a lot. Even if I cut some dungeons, it's a lot.
Yeah, no, I'd be on that. I'd be on that wrap up grind.
Yeah.
What level are your players currently in Strixhaven?
They're level 5.
Oh my god! After a year?
Yeah.
Nah,
We did a lot
bro.
of side. We did a lot of side stuff. Yeah, but that's the thing with Strixhaven. Again, it's a fun game. My players get to role play a lot more. There's not as I've been adding more combats in because I know that was like one of the complaints they had was like it's a lot of role play. It's a lot of like tests and like going through school, and basically with combat of combat might happen every other game, if not every other 2 games. So my players have been like not dicking around, but like doing a lot of other things and side stuff and role playing, which does add, which, you know, it's like combat adds a lot of time, but also like trying to do character shit, like that adds up too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm enjoying Strixhaven. Again, one of the other things, like new DMs, I get the appeal, and I did it too, of like starting off with a whole new world, and I'm gonna come up with all the lore and everything. And as crappy as the Strixhaven bare bonesness is of the actual campaign in there, working off of that has helped so fucking much and made life and prep so much easier for me.
Nah. I refuse.
But
I'm weird in between here because at one point I find it really easy to other than just hitting full block, which you're gonna have that in a campaign setting.
Yeah,
you're not gonna.
You're gonna have that whether you're using something pre-written or not.
Yeah, but if it's my setting, I can do. I know how to more easily break it.
Correct.
I don't know. I feel like even with the like you're playing in Forgotten Realms, it's now your Forgotten Realms. It's now your version, so you can do whatever you want. You can bend it, twist it. There's that. I forgot what the secret elf forest in the Forgotten Realms is that no one's ever supposed to go to. And I forgot it was like a DM layer video where he's talking as one of his players accidentally spilled the beans on where it is, and now all the Forgotten Realms knows where the secret elf city is and want to go after it and mine all the elf gold or whatever the fuck they're hiding over there. Well, which in Forgotten Realms, that shit wouldn't normally happen. But because it's a homebrew game, fuck it. It doesn't matter. It's
true. I think the thing is, right, is you wouldn't necessarily know about that hidden elf city in a pre-written game unless you did enough research where if it's your setting, you're like, oh, I've heard about this crazy elf city. You're like, it is there now. You can set your own ramifications.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against using pre-existing stuff. I definitely don't prefer it.
But overall, what'd you guys think of this? I don't even know what arc to call this because this is the.
This is the Matt is so fucking done. Please finish. God, I just want to be done. Everything sucks. Please let me finish. Arc.
Not everything sucks, but I was just tired. I was burnt the fuck out.
Pain and suffering arc. That's what I think we call this.
Yeah. That's the thing. Even throughout all that, even with the burnout, the GM burnout, I still
it's okay. You can
games.
say you were having a bad time at a chunk of the campaign. It's okay. I was too. It's fine.
Well, I'm saying with the burnout, but I'm just saying I still like the game.
No, I know. I'm just saying. You're I feel like you're constantly having to defend. No, still having fun. It's okay. You could say that there was a chunk of the campaign where you're having a bad time. That's fine.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't really. It was like a mixed bag. It was a bad time, but again, running the game when I'm in the game, all that shit goes away, and I'm having fun, joking with my friends, fucking doing fun, dumb stuff. But then it's the after the game. That's when it really the GM burnout hit, and I was like, fuck. So I don't know.
I feel that.
Yeah. I'll go for it. Sorry.
No, there's definitely days where I'm prepping and I'm like, God, I don't want to fucking do this. And then I get in it and I'm like, God, I'm having so good.
You started prepping?
Oh, I have to. I have to now that the end game's coming up. I gotta start wrapping, but I gotta start fucking tying loose ends off.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm so prepped.
I'd say the last 6 months have been so much prep. In comparison to my old 20 to an hour
probably
before session.
Probably still less than what most people do.
Maybe.
I mean, I do an hour-ish for a session, probably. Unless I'm having big ideas, and then I'll do more, but it's not the huge.
No, I'm poring over maps for hours, being like, oh, I like this one, but I don't like this one. And I'm poring over stat blocks and putting stuff together and being like, would they have this? And how do I do this? And
fucking hate the maps. I can't.
Now that I've started shilling money to the map Patreons, it's a lot easier. But then there's always that one map that you're like, I just need this. It's in my head, and it's never there. You're like, I'm just.
I just give up with that shit. I just find the closest map to what I want, and I'll deal with it.
I can't even find that for my current idea. The idea I have is so fucking weird. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to find a map for it. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. We'll get there when we get there.
But overall, what'd you guys think of this weird?
I love that your players cannot not be terrorists. They try. It seems like they tried to not be terrorists this time around.
They failed,
and they still committed terrorism on a dimensional scale, on a literally cosmic scale.
Listen, what happens in other dimensions, it doesn't count. It's fine.
Until you go back to that other dimension.
Absolutely counts. Yeah.
And somehow I don't think the Fae will forget. I'm gonna be honest.
Probably not, especially
No.
Krug's going to be their new Terras. So.
I
But
do
his
want to
new
know how
wife-
we get to that scenario. I don't.
That'll come next time.
Yeah,
When the last one I do, the end game, the big fight with the bad guys, the final bad guys, and what did the party do after the campaign or the characters?
I was gonna say the
Spoiler: Joe cast Wish 4 times.
4 times.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, remember I told you that a while ago? Joe got lucky and he managed to cast
I do.
Wish.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's basically next week. I'll explain more what happens. But
Okay.
he got super lucky.
All right. Well.
But yeah, thanks for listening to these ramblings of a madman, everybody. Don't forget to follow us on your podcast platform of choice. Anything else you want to say, Josh?
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter if it hasn't burned down.
There you go. All right. Until next time, guys. What would you do? How many wishes can you cast in a single month? Let us know in the comments below. My number is 0. Bye.